All right, Grant. Pre-show shenanigans today. This is from a while ago because we're going one episodes a week out of season. Obviously, we missed some things, and for the terms of college football and college sports and the NCAA and something you might be familiar with. Sorry, Michigan men aren't familiar with apparently. Grant, last week Iowa football had their wins vacated from under Cade McNamara for tampering. Um, and yet another school that I know in that conference didn't have wins vacated for cheating explicitly on sidelines and game film and
Everett, if I were to tell you the two teams that played in the 2023 Big Ten championship game, if I were to tell you of both of those teams, the one that didn't get publicly exposed for setting up a CIA level operation of a staffer going to other stadiums and recording signs, that team actually didn't get their wins vacated. It was the other team.
Yeah.
To which I saw many Iowa fans replying to that post saying, us having to watch Cade McNamara that year was enough of a punishment.
It should have been enough of a pain. Also, they tampered to get Cade McNamara alone should have been a punishment.
Is that the worst example of tampering? And I mean a lose-lose for both situations, okay? Is that the worst example of tampering we have ever seen in any sport?
I feel like there's got to be one that's worse.
Now, I'll be honest, this is fresh on my mind. Last night, I was shocked I hadn't seen this before. I thought I did, but I watched Untold Tim Donaghy.
You hadn't seen that yet?
I hadn't seen it. I thought I
really
had. It had already said watched on my thing forever.
So somebody else in your family must have watched
Somebody else watched the first 30 minutes of it and just didn't tell me. So I was under the impression I had watched this, but when I went back,
banger of one.
When I went
too,
back and rewatched that, oh my goodness! Knowing how involved everyone was, Tim Donaghy is like literally
my favorite part of that whole thing is when they have the mobster doing the interviews.
Like when they bring in the FBI guy, the FBI guy comes. I forget his name, but he's like, you know, Tim had to call his name. He gave himself a nickname. He was like, Tim had to call in Guru Greg. Like, gave himself a nickname. I don't know if it was Guru Greg, but I was sitting there just like, oh my God, these guys have utmost pride in this situation. But I was bringing that up pretty much to show how deep that whole operation was.
Yeah.
In contrast to the Michigan men who, to this day, Jim Harbaugh is on record saying,
he's a saint.
Knowledge.
He's a saint.
Anything. And to that, I just reply with a famous Bo Schembechler coach from, according to Michigan men, the greatest coach of all time, according to them. Bo Schembechler has a quote that says, you can never trust a head coach saying they didn't know. He goes on to say, if they say they don't know, that just means they're too stupid to operate and run a football program. Pretty much Bo is just like any head coach of especially a top D1 college program, you will know everything that happens on your team. Everything. Especially if it's something as big as a sign-stealing operation which influences your coordinators to make calls.
And your coach
would have
also
asked a question or two.
Informed on those meetings? Yeah. Like sits in on it, maybe?
Yeah, you're telling me like what one time Harbaugh, like my example is the Bowling Green game that year when JJ threw 3 picks. The offense is completely out of whack. After that, there is no way in hell Jim Harbaugh didn't have a DEFCON 5 meeting that Monday. There's no way in hell. They had a DEFCON 5 meeting. What went wrong?
And yet 100%. Somehow my team still drafted him.
Yeah. I mean, no, I was saying the biggest losers of the whole story were first the kids, who were then questioned about their legitimacy of their play. Did you know the play or not? So, first it's the kids. It's always about the kids. Second, the teams that drafted those guys. They had no idea that they were signing up for a bunch of guys who knew the plays beforehand. Those are the biggest losers.
A little unfortunate.
Yeah, and then also the Iowa football team. They're the third biggest losers in this story because they had their wins vacated. But yeah, no, pretty much Iowa, they claimed Cade McNamara was an ineligible player because they tampered with him.
Yeah.
And to that, Everett, all I got to say to end this before we get into the episode is shout out B2C Consulting. Shout out B2C. All roads lead back to Pablo Torre, folks. Just keep that in mind.
He knows everything.
Just keep that in mind. I mean, this is the worst part, though, ever. If that is confirmed, it's confirmed Blake Corum set up an LLC with Connor Stallions for an apparent house cleaning business. Hey, look it up, guys.
I'm pretty sure it is confirmed, Grant. I'm pretty sure it is confirmed.
But let's say the NCAA rules that is true and they deem Blake Corum ineligible. Everett, I know that they're not vacating a single thing. I know they're
not a chance.
I know they're not. That's
not a chance.
Hey, the NCAA does not punish current players for past crimes.
No,
they don't.
Doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. Doesn't happen.
Yeah, and people will be like, well, what about Iowa? They don't count, guys. They don't matter. So that's why. That's why we're just gonna move on. Yeah. So that's it. That's it, guys. Once again, Ryan Day's soft as Charmin once again. But all right, okay. On to the episode without further ado. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a very special episode of the Waterboy Podcast. It is episode 380, and the 2026 NFL Draft is this week. Also, we have some unfortunate, it's news. Unfortunate news to break on the Los Angeles Dodgers. Some concerning figures, facts, and other tidbits. It's going to be quite the episode. Quite the episode about the Dodgers. Have found some concerning things, which I don't know if we can solve. But Everett, we're going to start off hot with the NFL Draft. That's going to take up a lot of real estate this week. But before we start off with this. People are saying this is going to be one of the most traded drafts of all time. We got our first major domino over the weekend. And I just want to say there is no bigger loser in this whole trade than Dexter Lawrence, who now has to live in Cincinnati, Ohio. But Dexter Lawrence has been traded from the New York Giants to the Cincinnati Bengals for a package that included the 10th pick in the draft?
10th pick, yeah.
Include 10th pick. I'm going to guess there were more firsts involved.
I think there weren't any other future. I think it was just the 10th pick and maybe something else, but I don't think there's any future picks on the docket there.
Let's take a quick gander in case there was something else. Take a quick gander. It looks like 10.
I think it was just 10. I'll be honest. I think it was just 10.
I think it was just the 10th pick in the draft. Wow.
Yeah. Kind of surprising.
Yeah, the Bengals, some further reporting on ESPN says the Bengals were in, quote, no man's land with the number 10 draft pick. Did not like their selection. But okay. But that's the first major domino we see that impacting the draft. Now, the Giants move up to 10. They also have 6.
The Giants also have 6, correct.
So Giants are now at 6 and 10. And as an Ohio State fan, I have to beg the question. What are the odds the New York Giants draft Sonny Styles and Caleb Downs at 6 and 10?
So, Grant, I'm currently looking at it. And I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen. Crazy if they did.
Now, look, they are both positions. They are both positions that the teams need. Okay, and it is not very possible, but it is possible because of that. However, based on what I have seen as the resident Waterboy insider, this is the thing. I've said since day one that Harbaugh has had a safety, kind of like centerpiece of his defense of every team he has been on. Yes. John Harbaugh, every team that he has been on. Like that is the Kyle Hamilton. Giants, we'll see. But even before Kyle Hamilton, we had Ed Reed. So, and I mean, the clear as day between his teams on the Ravens when he's had a good safety as the centerpiece of that defense.
Safety is becoming slightly more valued in the NFL, and we're seeing a lot of safeties now be that captain of the defense. You
saw Nicky Morey. And that's kind of
I kind of agree.
For the Seahawks too.
Like, the safety, they're seeing everything. Like in theory, they're kind of the perfect guy.
And Harrison Smith, honestly, is a great example of that. He's been on the defense for the Vikings since 2012, and that has seen a variety of different things. But he has always been there as a cornerstone of that, which will impact the Vikings pick, I think, this year. But back to the Giants. I've said since day one that I think John Harbaugh will prioritize having a safety, and a specific safety being Caleb Downs. And I do think that if he's available at 5, I think that's a light out
at
pick
5,
makes sense. Well, I think that if you wait until 10, you're going to risk some other teams maybe getting him or trading up to getting him.
But my thought is this is what I'm thinking in terms of that linebacker spot. In terms of those inside backers, okay, it's kind of just Sonny in terms of that
CJ Allen.
I feel right now though for number 5 pick in the draft.
Number 5 pick, yes, for the top 10 to 15, top 10,
and
top 12,
at 10, you if Caleb Downs out there, you could go Thieneman. Now, I probably just wouldn't take a safety at 10 if I were them.
Here's my thing.
But
let me progress through here. All right. So you have Caleb Downs at 5. I think that's the priority position based on how it seems Harbaugh likes to structure his defenses. I do also think, and I've had different situations where I think that Robert Saleh and the Titans might want to go Sonny Styles given that situation on the defense, and Cody Barton being the middle linebacker and Saleh liking to have his linebackers be his, key cornerstone of his defensive structure. But I think that if he doesn't go there at 4, I could see him falling to 7 or all the way down to 10. I think that the only other stop along the way from the Titans for Sonny Styles, not counting the Giants, is the Commanders at 7. But the other thing is I've seen reports that the Giants are really heavily thinking about adding a wide receiver this year, especially in the first round, and using that extra pick. I think that would
just be a better idea.
Using that extra pick as a way to add a little bit of firepower to the offense. So you're getting a defensive guy and an offensive guy and helping out Malik Neighbors that way. So right now, the way that I'm looking at this personally is Caleb Downs at 5, and then Jordan Tyson at 10, because at that point, Carnell Tate and Mekhi Lemon are both off the board. But that's the way that I'm looking at it. Otherwise, I could see if Jordan Tyson is favored as much as reports are currently indicating, which I think is all just smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, this is just every
Carnell
draft.
Tate will go at 10, and Jordan Tyson will go 6 to the Browns. I think Mekhi Lemon is locked in as the second wide receiver off the board either way.
Where do we think Mekhi could go? Let's place that. Let's
right
say
now,
Giants go receiver.
I've penciled Mekhi pretty hard into 8 to the Saints.
Ooh, 8 Saints.
I've penciled because my perspective on the Saints specifically is they spent a lot of money. They spent a lot of money this offseason.
I feel like they're just opened up though.
They've had an offensive-minded head coach, and they currently now they have this quarterback who's entering his second year, and you're going to want to structure this team to be around that quarterback.
And the best way someone's open down there. So
they just traded off their wide receiver 2 and Rashid Shaheed to the Seahawks. They only have Chris Olave, really, unless you count Vele as.
I'm sorry, but Miguel Rojas just hit
home run. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just
what a retirement tour, but. Yeah, I just can see them wanting to add things offensively. They've already done it. They added Etienne, obviously, but wide receiver wise, they haven't really improved in that department. And I think that getting one of these top 3 wide receivers, specifically, I think Mekhi Lemon at that point is the preference. It makes sense. It makes sense on paper.
I think Lemon to Saints would be perfect.
I think it's
Lemon
a
is a
perfect
receiver
combination
that complements Olave extremely well. I like Olave. He runs those intermediate routes. Like he's not like a alert guy run off, but he runs those deeper routes. I swear to this day, I'm telling you all right now, there's only one person I've ever seen in my life who can run a red zone comeback on the 4-yard line, and his name is Chris Olave. I literally don't know another player on earth that can sell a fade on the 4-yard line like that. Don't know anybody else. But Olave is going to be Shuck's safety valve on some of those longer third and 6 pluses, like a second and long, just trying to pick up an easy first. But Makai's the first down guy, Everett. That all that Kamara shit is done. Unfortunately, I love Alvin Kamara. He's one of my favorite players ever.
I think that's also why. Like, I mean, ETN is also on that team now. They have ETN and Kamara. They have both of them. So
I forgot. That's the perfect guy that the Saints could have got. If I'm just gonna, I'll be honest. That was the perfect back for the Saints to go get. Good.
No, it works really well. It works really well for them. Like I do like it. I thought that Jeremiah Love honestly might have been a little bit better just because of the tangibility in the contract, but
I'm seeing a ton of Mansour Delane Saints, and I feel like corner is a position that they really need to address right now. Trading Lattimore. But wait, I'm sorry. They had a new corner coming. I'm blanking on the name, but they had someone coming.
You're talking about the Saints?
The Saints, I swear. Or a guy who just left them. That was locked down.
I think Alontae Taylor just left them.
It could have been him.
I think it was Alontae Taylor.
But
yeah, I think it was Alontae Taylor.
Yeah, Alontae Taylor just signed with the Tennessee Titans from Winchester, Tennessee. Homecoming for him. But yeah, they do need some help at corner, and I feel like, hey, Saints, I'm just instantly thinking of Ohio State guys right now, but I feel like Saints just always got a dog at DB, whether it's safety or corner. There's one guy in the Saints DB room that is just a straight alpha male.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that.
I feel like that's the Saints.
I would agree with that.
They have one alpha DB who doesn't take shit from anyone. So I could see them going to lane, also LSU, like it'll get the fans excited. I just am seeing that.
I could see. I just think it's too high. I think the Saints are too high for a corner to go there. It's possible, but just looking at things right now, I have my final mock draft.
Okay, this is another quick question that I'm bringing up. So I'm seeing a ton of teams kind of in that 7 to 14 range. They're not in love with the guys on the board, and a lot of them want to trade back. But my question is, Everett, who wants to trade up? Okay, can you give me some teams that would want to trade up in top 16, top 10?
So looking at the top 16, like here's the thing. I think that there's a limited amount of teams in the top 10 who would be interesting in trading back. Like
I'm assuming they let's trade back 7 picks. Like I
really
don't
know how many, based on what I'm looking at right now, draft wise. I don't know how many guys would be interested in trading back. Trading up, much different. I'm just people want to trade up, but I don't know if the people who are there want to be like.
I feel like I've been hearing different. Down. Okay.
Well, looking at what I have right now. So let's say after pick 5, and we're gonna have Caleb Downs pick 5. We're at this point, hypothetically speaking, all right, in this world,
I think
Fernando's gone, David Bailey's gone, Maui-Go is gone, Jeremiah Love's gone, Caleb Downs gone. I have Francis Mariota going 3 to the Cardinals right now.
But Arvel's still there at 5.
Arvel is still there at 5.
Oh shit, Everett's gonna be tough to pass up Abdul Carter and Arvel. It's gonna be tough passing on that. That is tough.
Well, you have Brian Burns.
That's a fine. Arvel plays it all, baby. I'm like
currently, Grant. I have Arvel falling to 7
to the Commanders. I would love that for Arvel Reese. I really hope he doesn't go into the Jets.
I don't know. I really don't think it makes sense. I think that because there's so many possibilities of trades right now, it's hard to project.
And Brown's also passing. Yeah,
I think it's the Browns.
I feel like Browns the most. I feel the most certain Browns are. Well, Fernando Raiders is okay. That's the lock. pass
Carnell Tate to the Browns.
I feel like we're seeing that everywhere, and because
that's what I think is
like
pretty stapled in.
But because I see it everywhere,
you're saying because it's so much is smoke and mirrors.
I'm just thinking.
So okay, let's get back to this.
As an Ohio State fan, I would not be excited about Carnell Tate as a Browns. I would not
after 5 on that. Well, I also don't know if you're a Browns fan, if you're really going to be excited about them drafting anybody, regardless.
Nothing can excite you in this one. So
minus them selling the team at this point. But Grant, from 6 onward, right?
Is that what you said?
Yes. Goodell goes up, and we have a major transaction.
The biggest transaction in NFL draft history. The Browns have sold the team. They looked at the draft and they said, "Yeah, no, this is it. We're out. We're out.
We're gone. We're gone."
Taking our talents to the Cleveland Guardians.
But 6 onward, Grant. Like looking at these teams that might be interested in accepting a trade to go down outside the top 10. The Browns, I do think, are a very big candidate. They did it last year with Travis Hunter trade, and I could see that. And then also, I could see the Chiefs. I could see the Chiefs doing it, 100%. Just getting the assets. But like Commanders and Saints, I both think really they're going to stick there. I think they go BP, like they're going to stick there.
Okay, I'm just remembering Chiefs because I haven't kept my eyes on the prize. It's kind of been a minute, not going to lie. I did kind of forget. When they trade Trent McDuffie, they pick up pick 29. So they're now at 9 and 29.
Yes.
I've seen a couple of Chiefs fans online being like, if you really look into it, our drafts have been awful in recent memory. Like we hit McDuffie, but past that, like Rashee Rice, that's debatable. Is that a hit or not? But their first rounders,
I guess that wasn't their pick, but
their firsts have not been living up to the hype.
Sorry, what's the other fast short guy they got? Xavier Worthy. Thank you. Xavier Worthy.
Wait, fast.
Not fat.
Well, Xavier Worthy might need to be on a weight gaining program.
Yeah,
the opposite of a diet.
But I could see the Chiefs. I could see the Chiefs trading there. Honestly, maybe for a player even rather than a pick. But
I think the Chiefs need to walk away from this draft with one of these receivers at 9. I think they need to.
So here's the thing, Grant. I don't think they're going to go receiver. I think if they went receiver at 9, I think it's Jordan Tyson if he's there. What scares me the most. The other thing, though, is there are those few back-end receivers of the first round that is possible for them to wait and get one of those later guys, because right now I think projecting on everything I've heard is happening and what we've seen happen in the past, I think Ruben Bain's going to fall in the draft. I don't think he's going to fall outside the top 10, but that's also because I think the Chiefs are going to stop that slide. And if he gets there to 9, it doesn't matter what wide receiver's on the board. They're going to take Ruben Bain. They're going to take Ruben Bain at 9.
Yeah, now I'm seeing a different mock where they have pick 40 in the draft, and I'm picking this second round. I'm seeing a lot of mocks got Jeremy Bernard to Chiefs at 40. And with that pick in mind, they have 11 picks after 29. Yeah, I'd kind of be stunned if they go receiver there because, they can wait a team.
No, that's fair. That's fair. But I also right now looking at this, Grant.
We still here? Are we still here? Oh, please don't tell me. Please don't tell me we lost it. Don't tell me we lost it. Please tell me we're still here. Oh, come on.
Oh, we're back. We're good.
Okay, there we go. Holy.
We're good. But, okay. All right. But I don't have them taking any offensive players in the first round. I have them going double defense because of player availability. I do think these teams outside of the top 10 picks that would be interested in trading up. You have the Cowboys. They would probably be interested in trading up. It's potential that the Rams might do that based on what players fall. I doubt it, but they might be like, fuck it, why not? We're here. We might as well do it. But really, the teams to look at are the Cowboys and the Jets in the top 16. Those are the two teams that might want to trade back in based on where they are there and their capital to trade with to move up. But I do think, generally speaking, like looking at the teams that have 2 first-round picks, Grant, like let's just do this quick analysis. Giants, we obviously talked about Caleb Downs and Jordan Tyson, potentially Sonny Styles somewhere mixed in there, but I do think Caleb Downs is the pick for them. That makes the most sense based off of history. The Jets, Grant, their first pick, the second pick, has been between Arvell Reese and David Bailey. I think right now it's leaning much more towards David Bailey than Arvell Reese.
For the Jets.
For the Jets. But that second pick in the first round, it would probably be corner or wide receiver. I don't think they would go BPA at that point, which honestly might be Sadiq at 16. I don't think that they would go BPA. So I love the idea of a corner from them because they traded from Sauce, but also a lot of things I've been seeing and hearing reports on is they're really interested in a wide receiver at 16 and getting Omar Cooper or Denzel Boston there. And that's why I'm saying I also think that up there at 16, which is I think is a reach. I think is a massive reach, which is why I was saying I could see them trading up to 10 or within there to try and get a Jordan Tyson or a Mekhi Lemon or a Carnell Tate. But at 16 right now, I have them taking Omar Cooper. I think other than that, it would make sense that they would go with Avian Terrell. It would make sense that they go with McNeil Warren. It would make sense that they go, could go Kenyon Sadiq, which is a luxury pick at that point. So I don't get it as much with the tight end, but they could do that. I don't really see them going for any other position, really besides that. Like that I really think it's between Omar Cooper, Denzel Boston, Avian Terrell, and Kenyon Sadiq.
Yeah, I'm looking at Jets who, keep in mind, first pick in the second round at 33. I'm just thinking, you have that pick. There's going to be some receivers in that Omar Cooper range.
There are, but I do think.
Okay, I think Jets, they're done with these non-alpha receiver bullshit. All right, look at Tony. Corley, awful. You see Garrett, how good he is when you draft a first round talent wide receiver, and then you see when you get the second round guy and they just don't perform. I think the Jets, they're just not in a position to be trying shit out at 33. I agree. They're going to get one of these receivers.
I think it will be a reach if they stick at 16. But I think that's what they have to do. If they have
to do that, if they have to take Omar Cooper at 16, draft's already dead.
Also to be fair, that's tough. But I do think there's a difference between Omar Cooper and Denzel Boston and the second round guys. And I just
think it's just like the Tyson Lemon.
No, yeah, the quality. It's
go get one of those.
Very clear. Trade up and get it, and having trade up to get the guy. Yeah, but I mean, having to settle for Denzel Boston or Omar Cooper is definitely a loss, and I would try to trade down at that point. But you still probably need to get one of those guys based on everything that it seems and their success. Grant, other teams that have double first round picks. We're talking about the Chiefs. Right now, I have Ruben Bain at 9. 29, Grant, name to watch this draft. We had Will Johnson last year slide because of medical concerns with his knees and stuff. Jermon McCoy, Tennessee corner, very similar reports coming out, very similar position. And I don't know which way it's going to fall because Will Johnson came in the league and has been great. Jermon McCoy has similar situation. So I don't know if people are going to see Will Johnson be like, okay, it's going to be fine. We're going to take him, or if they're going to want him to slide. And I do think he'll slide. I think originally he was projected maybe be the second corner off the board. Now he might not make it through he might make it to the second round.
Yeah, I have the Chiefs. Not the biggest fan.
I have the Chiefs taking him at 29 for BPA. At that point,
this is the thing.
On the board,
I don't think McCoy's that great, but if he gets drafted by the Chiefs, he's going to be very good. I don't really have an explanation, but
I think at 29, if he slides all the way there, why would you not do that if you're the Chiefs? You just traded Trent McDuffie. It's position of importance.
Yeah. And I think how the Chiefs like to play defense, how Spags likes to get aggressive. And if you're going to be calling some exotic blitz packages, you need DBs who can cover on an island, one-on-one, left on their own. And with that in mind, I know Jermon McCoy ran a shit ton of man at Tennessee. I know he did. And so, it could fit that Spag system. And especially if they take Bain at 9, oh yeah, that's some synergy right there.
I think that makes sense. And it's honestly this is a rebuild year for them because Mahomes is hurt. And obviously you have to retool that offense.
I'll be honest, the videos I've seen of that dude's fully going to be back by like week 3.
Probably, but also here's the thing:
in terms of
that defense, Grant, compared to where we've seen it be at when they've been very competitive, it has not been good.
It has not been good. Like I think a big part of it is the pass rush has like really taken a step back. Mm-hmm. Chris Jones, he's still elite, top level, but I think what happened last year, I'll need to dive into it, but I think his pressure rate was down because the teams were like, he's the only one. So triple. And I think with him, it could literally be like paralysis by being the only guy on the D line.
No, I think that's very, very, very true.
Could be really horrifying. I will just say though, like, I am the most fascinated with these two players. Pre-college football season, I was infatuated with these guys and what they were going to do. But my two guys where I'm just fascinated to see where they could go. Both Clemson guys, TJ Parker and Peter Woods. TJ Parker, I think, has all of the makings to become a double-digit yearly guy. Sack guy in the NFL. I think he has that. He has the pedigree. And really what I think right now, how both college and the NFL pass rushing, what it's turning into right now, the speed to power, that is everything. Mm-hmm. When you can go from speed rush into a bull rush, that is how you get these tackles looking foolish out there. And TJ Parker is that blend. He is that guy, extremely elite get off that turns into a bull rush. It's the same thing with Ruben Bain. It's the same thing with Akeem Mesidor. Really, a lot of these edges are power. At Arvell, I'd say there's still a lot left on the plate, but his best pass rush moves are power moves, Arvell. So I think he's going to develop into another power rush. But I'm most fascinated to see where they land. I'm seeing some TJ Parker Bears. I'm seeing TJ Parker Niners. I think, but more so Niners than Bears. But I think both of those spots would be good landing spots for him having another D end.
You are going to love the two landing spots I have here for both of them. Okay. Just quickly to wrap up the other discussion that we have just of teams that have 2 picks. Mm-hmm. I have the Browns at 6 and 24 taking Carnell Tate and Keldrick Falk at 24. Moving from Cassius Howe, that was the last draft that we did last mock. The Cowboys at 12 and 20, I have Sonny Styles at 12 and Avian Terrell at 20. And I think the Dolphins is the last one, 11 and 30, with Mansour Delane at 11 and Blake Miller, tackle from Clemson, at 30. But Grant, going to your question. So I think this is where a lot of, like, look, TJ Parker and Peter Woods are that 23, 24 to 32 range.
Maybe late first, maybe early second.
Like, it is possible that they slip out of the first round, but it's not likely.
I think it's
not likely.
Fully possible they're both second round guys. So,
but you know, for that reason, I want to preface that when I start talking about this. I have TJ Parker sliding more than I think that he would, but it kind of makes sense in the grand scheme of things. So I'm going to run you through picks 22. We'll start at the Chargers, 232. And you'll kind of do the math in your head, and you'll see where these two guys land, okay? And then let's discuss it, because I think that gives context to the whole idea of where these guys might go, right? 22 Chargers, you have Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. 23 Eagles, you have them taking Denzel Boston. 24 Browns, Keldrick Falk. 25 Bears, Caden McDonald. 26 Bills, CJ Allen. 27 49ers, Peter Woods. 28 Texans, Caleb Banks. 29 Chiefs, Jermon McCoy. 30 Dolphins, Blake Miller. 31 Cassius Howell. 32 Seahawks, TJ Parker. So 49ers take Peter Woods, Seahawks at 32, end it with TJ Parker there. And I think at that point, it makes sense. That's BPA. That's a position they might not necessarily need. They do have DeMarcus Lawrence and Leonard. Well, not Leonard Floyd. Is Leonard Floyd what? Who do they have
I'm pretty sure he's still there.
I think it's Leonard Floyd.
Williams.
Yeah, so
Leonard Williams.
Leonard Williams. Thank you. I was like, Leonard Floyd. Leonard Williams. So they do have edges, but TJ Parker is a guy you mix into that situation.
Oh, exactly.
That he's gonna be able to handle those reps, and development, because both Leonard Williams and D-Law are both older guys. You're gonna have this younger guy who's gonna be able to fill back in, and that's how you maintain success.
I actually love that. I think that'd be great for TJ as well. Having two guys who have done it at an elite, like, to mentor you, and I think the Seahawks culture right now is just a great org and how the players treat each other. And I don't think there would be an awkward situation adding Parker. No. I think it could be a little bit like Thule joining up with Khalil Mack and Bosa at the time. Like, both of them kind of took Thule under their wing. To this day, Khalil's still like Thule's like father figure in the NFL. So I think you could get a little situation like that. But I think that's best for TJ to get him rotating in his first year. I don't think he's going to be double digits from year one, but
the development can get you there, and that's the best situation to do that.
It might just be like, shit.
It's possible the Bears. It's possible that he goes there, or to the Browns. Like, any of these guys who are really going defensive line positions, which is much of 24 to 32. Like, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams of 24 to 32 going defensive line positions. So you can fall anywhere along that spectrum. Probably not the 49ers, just now, because...
I'm sorry, did you have Caden McDonald in that range at all?
25 to the Bears.
Okay.
He goes over Peter Woods.
Now, Caden,
we talked about the run stuffing versus pass rushing before about this.
Yeah, because I'm seeing 3 mocks I'm looking at, they have him to the Bills, Caden.
Which is also possible.
I think... Hell no. Bad if you're Buffalo. Buffalo needs a pass rush. Well, that's why I'm like,
if CJ Allen is there, it makes sense.
Caden I'm not sure if Caden will record over 8 pressures in his entire NFL career, Everett. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. That the Bears don't need the pass rush, which is why I think it works.
I think that one could work. The Bills, and I'm seeing this a lot, No, as an Ohio State, I'm telling you guys right now, no, do not take Caden.
That's also why they're like, CJ Allen, I think, is an interesting prospect because he's the second best linebacker in this draft, and he could go early. But I think that because of talent and need in positions and teams not going BPA, he falls. And the Bills are a position where CJ Allen might be BPA, and he might also be a position of need, which is why I think if he's there, that's the go-to pick. But with Peter Woods, Caden McDonald, those are like the next 2, interior defensive guys that are on the board. Those are really the first 2 interior defensive guys, and they're going to be 1A and 1B, and they do very different things.
The Peter Woods to the Chiefs is what would, God.
I have Peter Woods to the 49ers, which in its own right is disgusting.
Also, that's another horrifying thing.
The filthy.
Way less horrifying for me, though, if he was
for you. For me, it's not enjoyable for the playoffs, but...
I'm just worried about twice a year what I got to deal with for another decade. Peter Woods, he's just one of my favorite players in all of college football this past season. Him and TJ Parker, both of them, those are guys that they were producing as 18-year-olds at Clemson. Now, I know Clemson hasn't been that great in those 3 years that they were there. But I mean dominant years when they're true freshmen. Like putting up 6.5 sack seasons as a true freshman, which is just, that is a tall task. Those 2 guys, they fit my certified as an 18-year-old true freshman. I don't need to see any more. You're all dogs. Same with Dylan Stewart next year. Dylan Stewart could have 3.5 sacks. I don't care. That's the best D-end in the class.
Yeah,
Colin Simmons, shit. Sorry, second.
I mean, we'll see. I think that this is a very defensive-loaded first round, and I think because of that, that's why there's going to be a lot of trades, because there's going to be a premium on offensive guys, first of all. And second of all, some of those defensive guys do very different things, even at the same position. So there's going to be a preference to get certain guys over others.
Yeah, I would say lastly, I just have looking at all these mocks, one player I consistently see back end of the first, never the first player of his position off the board, is just consistently Caden Proctor at the end of the first.
So I have
I'm
Caden
just
Proctor
beyond
way earlier.
I'm beyond positive that dude's about to be an all-pro NFL left tackle for 4 years.
Grant,
like that's what are we doing? How is he not?
Let me just go through this mock. Let me go through this mock for you that I have. This will be likely the final Waterboy mock of the year. No trades because we're broke. No trades because we're broke boys over here.
we didn't have time.
Well, that, and also you have to pay for it now, which the Waterboys cannot afford currently. But Grant, here is
that's not growing the game, Everett. That's shrinking. Wow. Okay.
Hashtag shrinking.
Yeah, that's a shrink right there.
Hashtag shrink. Okay, Grant. Here is the final Waterboy mock draft. No trades. Raiders, Fernando Mendoza. Jets, David Bailey. Cardinals, Francis Mauigoa. Titans, Jeremiah Love. Giants, Caleb Downs. Browns, Carnell Tate. Commanders, Arvell Reese. Saints, Makai Lemon. Chiefs, Ruben Bain. Giants, Jordan Tyson. Top 10 right there. First 10 picks. Dolphins, Mansour Delane. Cowboys, Sonny Styles. Rams, Spencer Fano. Ravens, Vega Ionai. Don't know how to say his last name. Ione. Bucks, Akeem Mesidor. Jets, Omar Cooper. Lions, Monroe Freeling. Vikings, Dylan Thieneman. Panthers, Kenyon Sadiq. Cowboys, Avian Terrell. Next 10 picks. So from 11 to 20. Final 12 picks, Grant. Steelers, Caden Proctor. Chargers, Emmanuel McNeil Warren. Eagles, Denzel Boston. Browns, Keldrick Falk. Bears, Caden McDonald. Bills, CJ Allen. 49ers, Peter Woods. Texans, Caleb Banks. Chiefs, Jermon McCoy. Dolphins, Blake Miller. Patriots, Cassius Howell. And Seahawks, TJ Parker.
Okay. I there was one name you brought up and I instantly locked eyes with him from across the room. Where did you have Akeem Mesidor going?
Bucks, 15.
Yeah. Now that okay. I would say of all these DN guys, I think the one that I'm most confident in putting up double digits as a rookie is Akeem Mesidor.
And you said before
is horrifying.
Oh, you said before as well.
Akeem
I didn't change that between this one and the last one.
That is yikes.
I honestly feel really, really, really good about that being the pick because I think that it's higher. I think it's higher than a lot of people. I think it's higher than a lot of the public think he could go. But in this sense of how the teams view him and the sense of him being the forgotten Miami guy, and he's a little bit older, I think that some people might see it as a reach, but I think it's
he's older than both of us.
Wow. I think it's an excellent pick.
That's a man right there. That's a grown ass man. So, I absolutely love Mesidor, and I'm not even thinking of Florida, Miami to Tampa connect. Just he seems like a buck. He just gives off buck vibes to
him
me.
Right next to Vita Vea, Grant.
Yeah, no, I'm like, ooh. I'm thinking of that one screenshot of a JPP with Ndamukong Suh and then whatever former All-Pro, future Hall of Famer D tackle they also got in that group for that Bucks run. Mesidor Bucks. Yeah, that looks the part in my eyes. That sounds correct. Where do you have Sadiq going?
Sadiq goes to the Panthers at 19.
Yeah, that one I'm seeing, and like that one I think is actually a solid spot for him.
Look, like I've seen some people say like, hey, the Vikings might take him at 18. I'd be kind of surprised by that given how they just fixed. I know that Hawkinson's contract's now going to expire earlier, but it doesn't make sense for them in this position to do that, to go with Sadiq. And like,
who do you have you guys taking?
Thieneman. I wouldn't be pissed if we go with Sadiq there. I just wouldn't understand it as much given the situation and everything that's been said.
I don't know what my thoughts on Kenyon Sadiq would be if he was a Minnesota Viking. I don't know how I'd look at that.
My other thing is after
I think 18 he might be faster than Jordan Addison.
I don't know what
he runs a 4.49. Sadiq?
Yeah, he's faster. But after 18 and 19, Grant, I don't know in here where Sadiq would fall. I don't know where he would really go. Because a lot of these teams
shot Cowboys even look at him. Steelers have like too many tight ends still, right?
The Chargers, you guys wouldn't do that.
Yeah. I don't think we'd take Sadiq.
Eagles won't do that. Maybe they would do it. Maybe the Eagles would do it because they don't want Goddard right now. They're trying to move off Goddard.
I don't see that. Who do you have them taking? Who do you have the Eagles taking?
Eagles, I have taken Denzel Boston with the news that they're probably shipping off AJ.
Yeah, okay.
But Browns won't do that. Bears just drafted a tight end. Bills have a tight end. 49ers have a tight end. Texans, maybe, but they have a lot of money in Dalton Schultz.
If Texans draft a tight end there when CJ might pass away behind that O-line.
Chiefs get Travis Kelce's replacement.
I feel like Texans, they honestly in a good spot. Like they're gonna get a first round tackle and just
really
screw it. Just any O-lineman, just whoever the hell's there.
I honestly if he doesn't go 18 or 19, the only other spots I see him going are 23 to the Eagles or he goes to the Dolphins at 30.
Yeah, it's like zero shot. Browns even look at Sadiq if we're going back to him. Yeah, no, that's weird. He could be a guy who drops a healthy amount and
it's just because of positional value. And like he is a great player and he could be BPA for some of these teams, but it's just like
everyone in fantasy football, you're round 9. The second you are taking Kenyon's,
but also
taking Sadiq.
But also, Grant, as BPA goes, like BPA applies, but tight end is a position where BPA really doesn't happen because there's only one guy you really run. You're not going to waste a first round pick BPA on a tight end.
Yeah, we kind of saw it last year, and it's like, how did those turn out?
Like, okay, I've seen the Ravens. I've seen the Ravens talk about it, but the Ravens want to move on from Mark Andrews soon, so there's kind of a reason. The Eagles similar with Dallas Goddard, and the Chiefs similar with Travis Kelce.
Sadiq in a Ravens uniform.
I could too, but I'm saying like those three teams in the Ravens, Eagles, and Chiefs like are all teams that might move on from their current tight end soon. Same thing with the Vikings. Really, all teams the tight ends might be leaving soon. So that's the thing. But Grant, that's it for the Waterboy draft talk of the year. Yeah. We'll see how it goes this Thursday. The only other two things just quickly want to mention in the NFL that are relevant that have happened that we haven't talked about since last episode. One, A.J. Brown is likely being traded for a 2027 or 28 first, starting on the June 1st designation. So not for this draft, but for the future draft, and will be traded from the Eagles to the Patriots. And then additionally, we just had Dexter Lawrence traded from the Giants to the Bengals for the 10th overall pick. Interesting wrinkle there is you let Trey Hendrickson walk for a lot of money that you're now paying Dexter Lawrence, and you additionally gave up the 10th overall pick for that. But I mean, Dexter Lawrence is Dexter Lawrence. Like, I mean, it's a different statement, different player, so different position too at that point.
Trey on now also?
He was in the whole Ravens saga with Max Crosby. They signed him after vetoing the trade after the fact.
That's a good point. And now he is a Raven?
Yeah, he's a Raven.
Yeah. Okay. They didn't also call that one off too? That was
surprisingly.
That was just a
surprisingly not.
Hell?
Guys, we didn't
reverse it. Like,
how did we just let that go? Like, nobody's talking about the fact that the Ravens fully just vetoed a trade to what? Because they knew that they could sign somebody and not trade picks?
Yeah, it was like they're going to make an Urban Dictionary definition of buyer's remorse with that in there. But got a couple. Well,
no, I was going to say on to the Dodgers if that's where we were going.
Yeah, wrap up with some Dodgers news. We'll try to keep this kind of short, but I was just reminded by a close Dodgers consultant that this might be the last time we talk about Edwin Diaz for potentially
we talked about
his
we also, like an episode or two ago, we were specifically talking about his velo for a major concern.
2 episodes ago, we were praising the K9. 1 episode ago, we were raising the flags. And today, we are calling it quits. Edwin Diaz is officially shot. There is no recovery here. There is no visible path to redemption anymore. Let's just start off with the classic baseball numbers that everyone is aware of. Edwin Diaz currently has career highs in many stats, which is shocking. So the first career high out of him, a career high, and expecting all slugging stats, all slash stats, career highs, 245 XBA allowed, 354 X slugging, 405 WOBA. We don't care about that though. An X WOBA of 333, which is actually still pretty damn good, not gonna lie. But this is where it gets concerning. This is the lowest strikeout rate in Edwin Diaz's career. Currently has a strikeout rate of 30.3. He has a career strikeout rate of 39.7. So down around 25% on his career for that. This is, oh goodness, career high in walk rate allowed. It has an average career walk rate of around 8.7. He's currently at a 15.2% walk rate, nearly double.
And I mean, is that the end of the list, or are we still going here?
Yeah, no, last thing, current, well, this is one thing where it's like, not exactly sound the alarm, but at price, sound the alarm. He has a current ERA of 10.50. That would be a career high. His X ERA, though, it's 4.38. It's still bad. I thought it would be higher than 4.38. Not gonna lie, I thought it'd be worse. But those are just like the baseball stats everybody knows, everyone's aware of. Now I want to dive into some more specific advanced stats, which you won't necessarily see immediately when you're just looking at their pages. So first thing that horrifies me, I'm terrified what this means for the future.
Okay.
In terms of specific pitches. So we'll start with this. Edwin Diaz, essentially for his entire career, he throws 2 pitches, 4-seam, slider. So 4-seam slider, that's what we're going to be going off here. Some years he's got like a sinker or changeup in it, but those don't count. So it's 4-seam slider. Let's just go over 4-seam velo since 2016. This is actually good.
Yeah.
In 2016, 97. 2018, 97.3. 2019, 97.4. 2020, 97.8. 2021, 99.8. And 2022, 99.1. So he increased fastball velo every single year for the first 6 years of his MLB career. Velo went up every single year. 2023, that's when he tears his ACL, celebrating for Puerto Rico. When he comes back in 2024, as expected, velo's down, but still 97.5 miles an hour.
It's about his average. That's at least where he was starting baseline going into the MLB.
Yes.
So it's okay.
Last season, 97.2 miles per hour, a half
a little
mile
bit lower
decrease, but that's nothing too
It's not
crazy.
like you'd be majorly concerned about that.
No, nothing too crazy there. But this season, the 4-seam velo is down from 97.2 to 95.7, the lowest velo of his MLB career.
Yeah, no, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, and it's being
slightest.
95, 96 is concerning. But these are some other things. Now, spin rate, kind of weird, but actually he went up in spin rate this season compared to last. Velo dipped, but spin rate went up. So I don't, the spin rate conversation, that's a whole nother debate. There isn't exactly a correlation with spin rate increases, decreases, velo, pitcher performance, not necessarily. Spin rate's actually been pretty stable throughout his career. It hasn't even changed
Well,
much today.
I will just say
Actually,
this.
this is the highest slider spin rate of his career. Right now, this is the best spin he's ever had on his slider.
Look, okay, continue. Just finish
Yeah, these are the
saying, and I have
horrifying
a point.
last little things. What is concerning to me is the whiff rate drop-offs. This is the four-seam whiff rate throughout the career. 33%, 28%, 30.1%, 35%, 42%, 26%, 37%, 40%. That's his four seam. This season, the whiff rate on the four seam is 11.5%.
Look, okay, this is kind of my thought, Grant. This is my thought, and look, I oh boy,
I might start sweating.
Look, I think first of all, I've said this before because it's not the first time that we've seen it with pitchers that join the Dodgers from elsewhere. We could have there might be an issue with Mark Pryor or other members of the pitching staff, the coaching staff for that. Like something could be wrong there, first of all. Second of all, looking at Edwin Diaz specifically for this year, like, sure, maybe you have lower velocity because you're getting more spin on the pitch, so you're throwing it less fast because you need control. Like, that's possible. It is possible that,
I have no explanation for this.
That's how you're doing it. But coinciding with a worse whiff rate, clearly the speed and velo on the pitches is what makes the players whiff, because that's the only thing that coincides with both dropping. Like, that's the only thing that makes sense. And on top of all of that, if it's clear that it's not working, it also seems that his less velo, but also forcing that momentum in your arm to go and get more spin on those pitches, has caused an injury because now he's got to have surgery on his elbow. So whatever he was doing to try and get that spin, which also might be a fault of the coaching staff for trying to be like, hey, let's work on your spin, right?
Yeah, so
Just let him, first of all, just let him do the velo pitches. Don't tell him to fix anything, because I think it's also at fault of the coaching staff. And I think those things coincide. However, if they don't coincide, if it truly is a general drop in velo and they're trying to do it to mask that issue and make up for it, his career is, it might already be screwed over, but his career
potentially is already
it's fine.
This is one mechanical advanced stat, which I've got two examples here. We're going to use Edwin Diaz and we're going to use Tanner Scott, the two big name relievers we just signed to long extensions. We're going to use both of them. So, like, that spin rate velo debate, we're throwing out ideas here. We don't have an exact answer as to why.
It makes sense though. It makes sense.
One mechanical advanced stat that consistently, when both Edwin and Tanner Scott joined our team, both of these values just dropped for the first time in their careers, essentially. But both of these pitchers, their extension values both decrease, which is the release point past the pitching mound where you release the ball. So let's start with Edwin. His best seasons in New York had an extension of about, it started off at 7.1 feet past the mound. Then it went up to 7.3. Then it went up to 7.4. And then last year in 2025, back down to 7.2. But those 7.3, 7.4 extension years were his best. This year, the extension is down to 7.1, but also the slider extension, which was usually around 7.1, 7.3, 7.2, that's now down to 6.9. And with that, I'm thinking, now, it is a consistent correlation, the difference in extensions. He does throw the ball further out across the mound with a four seam than slider. He does that both on the Mets and us. But that extension dropping,
the total extension,
for both pitches, extensions just down from the Mets. That seems like a mechanical change. That seems like Mark Pryor's instructing them. Quicken your release, quicken your wind up. And my first thought is Scott and Diaz have both struggled with runners on first. They both struggle. Guys steal off them relatively easily. They don't do a good job throwing guys out, and I think it's because their Just their
Taking
time, their
time.
motion to throw the ball takes forever. They're going to be safe every time they steal. And so I think that's the explanation.
Look, yeah,
That's
I
what
mean
I'm thinking.
that makes sense, and I also do think when it comes to extension, like that's something that's so mechanically related that you quite literally would never see that decrease unless you're being
mechanical
instructed
change
to
has
do it.
happened.
Like you have to be told to make that thing, because if
Yeah.
anybody's doing anything, especially an athlete, like that's such a part of your routine that forever until somebody explicitly tells you to do something, it will be the same thing over and over and over.
It's not just Edwin, but also Tanner
too.
His
and
extensions also
I'm
dropped
sure if we went and
exactly
looked at Craig Kimbrell
0.2.
too, I'm sure if we went and looked at Craig, it would be the same thing. Because
with all,
like it'd be I'm sure we see that too.
Me, it's the consistent drop in 0.2 feet for both of them. It's
no, and I think that definitely probably also adds into the amount of force that you're putting into your body when you're generating those pitches. My other thing is I'm guessing that they're not doing that overall on all of their pitches. I'm guessing when it's just in runners and scoring position that they're probably accelerating it. I'm not entirely
I don't have
sure.
splits. I don't have splits on extension.
But I think that'd be something good to look at. The other thing, just generally speaking,
that could be a good thing to look into.
The other thing, just generally speaking, is, I personally, I know it's late in the game, but like if they're coming in and you don't want players to steal, like I understand. I would much rather have a player steal and know that I'm going to be able to get the out because my pitcher's pitching in a better position and their ERA is lower because that's what they're used to, than putting a
I don't know if that is the reason. That's the only logical explanation I could have to wanting to shorten their. That's the only.
That's the only thing that makes sense. It's the only thing that makes sense.
Because I don't know what else. My only other thought is a bit of a Yamamoto thing. How his delivery now, he has a pretty long in terms of time.
He's got a really long.
Takes a while to throw the ball
and extension too.
Yeah, and he's like the god of extension in the MLB for his size. But I think maybe there could be something with Yama, and maybe our pitching staff is looking at Yama's, because we didn't touch his mechanic. Yama. Well, I also that's what he just runs
really
out.
Honestly, the biggest point I think you can make with that isn't between Yama and the Diaz or with Tanner. It's Yama and Roki, because Yama came
Roki's release every day.
Yama's came into the league. He had played in Japan. He had this very concrete value of what he was, what he would do. He had been there. Like he came in as this developed developed player that everything is complete with him. You're getting exactly what you're paying for. With Roki, it was much more known that, look, like he is younger. He hasn't had all this experience. He's going to be a prospect. You're going to build him up. We think he's in a better spot than a lot of other players will be. But they didn't give him this massive contract that they gave Yama. They gave him minor years, essentially. And you're seeing that now firsthand how these coaches who are in the majors are developing the pitching staff and how they're developing player from step one compared to how a lot of the other pitchers that the Dodgers have that are in farm develop in the minors and with the minor league pitching staff.
Yeah, I don't think it's a hot take to say we might have a better minor league coaching staff.
Like I quite literally think also though that's why sending Roki to the minor league would help with his pitching, because I don't think Mark Pryor and the coaching staff for the pitchers are equipped to develop a pitcher in that way. Like they can make minor adjustments, but it's clear that they're better with maybe command and with other things than they are with actual mechanical issues. And that's caused problems.
Yeah. So another thing I'm just looking at, I want to use Tanner Scott as an example. And, there's trauma there. It's going to take a while to overcome, but he's having a really good season so far. And so this is kind of to that extension point, how, it's not a guarantee what changes to your spin rate or velo. So right now, believe it or not, this is the fastest Tanner Scott has ever thrown a slider in his career. 89.8 miles per hour. Everett. This guy might be averaging a 90 mile an hour slider this year, which is batshit crazy. Tanner Scott, this is the best slider of his life this season.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. But that's with a shorter extension. That's with a slightly reduced spin rate on the slider. But a lower spin rate and shorter extension somehow increases velo by a full mile per hour. So, there's no yeah, I there's no guarantee that these changes are going to result in velo or spin rate uptick. It's kind of random. It kind of depends on the pitcher and their mechanics. Uh, but I feel like, something we could just work on right now. We haven't been very good recently in changing pitching mechanics. So like let's just have the guys do what they do. Stick to your windup, stick to your motion. Let me see why you're able to produce these spin rates and these velos, and then try to improve it afterward if needed. All right, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But yeah, that's just one thing. I want to give Tanner Scott some props. 0.58 whip on the year, 104 ERA. He hasn't walked a guy all year yet. Got to give him some props. But yeah, those are the Dodger updates. I'm horrified.
It will be interesting to
Edwin.
see.
Horrified.
Yeah, I mean, look, like I'm curious to see how the bullpen kind of handles to pick up the slack, and hopefully Diaz is back for October. I mean, it's said that his elbow issue should only be about 3 months, so he'll be coming back here right at the end of the summer, most likely. But I think it's interesting to note that, and I do think that especially with Roki as kind of like this really is a Roki stat and future conversation. We're talking about Diaz and Tanner Scott and all this stuff, but ultimately the end topic of all this is Roki Sasaki, and it's about how the Dodgers are going to develop him, why he's not playing as well, why he might be playing as well, and honestly why him playing as a closer he might have been better, because he wasn't doing all these things that the coaching staff would tell him to be doing as a starter.
Yeah, it's that, and it's also like when you're closing, 2 pitches is more than enough. And so it's like, we know what you're good at. Fastball split. They can't hit the split. So like, when in doubt, split it out, Roki.
But also that's
against the Phillies, just every pitch, just split. Schwarber
setting him down might also be a good thing, because the changing coaching staff might actually be better for development. Like all of our pitchers that have come up from the minors have been better than Roki or
first
other
couple
guys.
Starts.
Because also though you've got Stone and Hurt and Knack, like these guys are better than a lot of pitchers that we're seeing across other teams, because the pitching staff and coaches that we have in the minors are better at developing pitchers than you do.
We really need Stone back. Really, like that's
River Ryan too. River Ryan also.
Yeah. River's a bit interesting right now. But it's just like with
Emmett Sheehan as well.
I mean, he's being shelled. But
I know,
like
but
Stone,
still comparatively,
I just know Stone can give me 6 scoreless any given night. Like I'm utmost confident in a Gavin Stone start that we're gonna win this game. Like
I do
with
think
a Sheehan or a Roki, those are guys where it's like, get those dudes in the pen. They're gonna be October pen guys.
Yeah, I do think fully healthy pitching staff, like Gavin's bring Gavin Stone in.
Keep everyone. Hey, if anything, Glasnow hitting IL is even more of an importance now, because we really need him in October.
But
we really need him.
My point being, everybody's healthy. Gavin Stone should be pitching over Roki. Roki, send to the minors, let him figure some shit out, bring him back for October, put him in the bullpen.
Yeah, no, I'll say that with full confidence. If Gavin Stone is ready to go, he better be in the rotation. He better be in that 5-man. If he's not,
I think that's the best for both players is Gavin's in rotation, put Roki in the minors, let him develop for a couple months, bring him back up for the playoffs. Put him in the bullpen. Let him fucking
kind of
just
what we did last year, pretty much.
But I do think him being in the minors, working on mechanics in the minors specifically without the stress and pressure of the majors.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the big thing is like you see him nervous up there. Like you see him like second guessing himself and like questioning himself while he's pitching. And it's like in AAA, I feel like it's just not as there as much. I don't know, but that's what I feel.
No, I agree. I agree with that. But with that, thank you guys so much for watching, listening, rate us 5 stars. You can find us on Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, and on TikTok at Waterboy Pod and Instagram, I guess. You can follow me and Grant on Twitter at Everett and at Waterboy Grant. We post new episodes every week on YouTube and all podcast platforms. Make sure to subscribe and turn notifications with single episode. We also post exclusive content on TikTok and Instagram. Check us out there if you miss anything else. And with that, we'll see you guys next episode. Waterboy is out. Happy draft day.